Yo, so our prelims for Mexico. Woo! We have got some live fights, right? 6 debuts are taking place on Saturday night. Right? 6 debuts on the prelims. That's a lot, right? That's crazy. So we have got some. I think there's 8 fights on the prelims, right? And so let us get into these things, right? We start off the night with the middleweights, and we have got Damian Pinas against Wesley Schultz, right? So Damian, the Baba Yaga Pinas, he is 23, 6'1", 79.5-inch reach. He's on a 4-fight win streak. He has a pro record of 8-1, right? Fights out of Nova União. So, we know he's getting some good training up in that, right? Comes via the Contender Series. Okay, so he won that contract. That was September 2025. The 30th of September, he stopped Victor Costa in the first round. Knocked him out. Right, so looking at his fights before, I mean, they're all finishes. I mean, every fucking one, right? Made his debut all the way back in August 2022, second round finish. Then November same year, first round, right? April the following year, he first round finish, this time with a DAS. Follows that up in November. So not fighting necessarily as often as maybe you would like a young fighter to be doing their thing, you know? But yeah, November, another first round head kick finish, right? Then he faces his first loss the next year, which good, right? But maybe if he was fighting more often, because he lost via an illegal kick, right? So he most likely kicked someone while they were down on their knees, I'd suspect. And you know what I mean? That is partly lack of in-fight experience, right? In-fight know-how. You know what I mean? I would say, but he's got that loss off his back now, right? So then he followed that up with a title win, right? He won the Victory Extreme Fighting Championships middleweight strap in June 2024, second round knockout, right? Then he gets a first round knockout, another first round knockout, both also in 2024. And that led to his Contender Series fight. Now, across the octagon, he's going to be fighting someone in a similar situation, right? It's party time, Wes Schultz. Now, he is, what would that be? No, I'd 5. I'd 6. Of course, 6. Jesus Christ. He's 6 years older. He's 29. He's 6'1". So they're the same height. And he has got a 2.5-inch reach deficit because he's got a 77-inch reach, right? Daniel's got a 79.5. So, yeah. Now, again, very similar, right? He's got an 8-2 overall record. He's on a 2-fight win streak. Yes, so he is also coming via the Contender Series. Now, the thing with Wes, right? He fought on the Contender Series twice, right? So he fought back in August 2024. He got stopped in the second round by Mansar Adal Malik, right? He went away, you know what I mean? Won a fight, right? Got a guillotine first round win in April 2025, which led him to come back to the Contender Series in October, 14th of October 2025, where he got a submission over Mario Minjaj in the first round. So that led to his contract. Now, he made his pro debut back in October 2021, so slightly earlier than Daniel. I mean, you know, the year before, right? Won by a Von Flue first round. Now, he's you know, mostly finishes. There's one fight that went the distance. His second pro fight, right, in May, and that was in the LFA, right? So a slight step up in competition, but he got the win. You know, he does like a submission, right? He next gets a rear naked choke in the second. He suffers his first loss in the LFA. So this will be his third LFA fight. Lost to Dylan Budka, right, in January 2023. But comes back and beats Zach Eddington with a rear naked in May that year. Back to the LFA in January 2024. He gets a first round stoppage, right? April still in LFA, another first round stoppage, which led to his first Contender Series fight. He then, goes away, gets a guillotine win, back to the Contenders. So we can definitely see that Wes does like to grapple, right? Does like to grapple. So it makes things this is an interesting fight, right? It's an interesting one, you know, where you can say, I mean, he has the one DAS, right, victory, but Damian, I was saying Daniel, wasn't I? Damian, it seems that he's probably more of a striker, right? So we've got a striker against a grappler, and, it's an interesting one, right? They were both impressive on the Contender Series. I think the one thing that you might say is that Zach may have fought against the Wes. I don't know what's going on with me today, people. Wes may have fought the tougher opposition, having a good few fights in the LFA, right? Now, Damian, you know, he's going by the Baba Yaba, so he's might be bringing a little John Wick action to the octagon. And as long as Wes hasn't fucked with his dog, I'm thinking with that added experience, right, with the grappling, I think that, it may well be party time for Wesley Schultz Saturday night. But that fight, it is a toss-up, right? So next, we are with the featherweights. We have got Erik Silva against Francis Marshall. Good fight, right? Good fight. So, Francis Fire Marshall, he's 26, 5'9", 72-inch reach. Overall pro record of 8-3, right? He is 2-3 in the UFC. Came via the Contender. He's coming off a loss in his last outing. So he got that Contender Series contract on the 2nd of August 2022, beat Connor Matthews via unanimous decision. Made his debut December that same year. Second round stoppage over Marcelo Roja. So a good win there. He then got beat by William Gomez. That was a split. All right. He also lost to Isaac Dolgarian, which, the controversy around Dolgarian, right? He got a split win over Dennis Bazooka. That was a very... I kind of felt that fight should have been a draw. You know what I mean? That was a crazy fight. Crazy fight. But then last time out, he lost to Marion Santos. It was another split, right? That was in March 2025. Right, so going up against Erik King Silva, who's 38, 5'9", 71-inch reach. Overall record of 9-3. He also came by the contender. He's 0-2 in the UFC. All right? 0-2 in the UFC. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. This could be make or break for Silva, right? Got that contract on the 9th of August 2022. So it was the same day, right? He fought on the same Contender Series card as Marshall, which is... I'm not sure we've had that. I'm not sure if we've had two people who fought on the same card fight each other, right? But yeah, made his debut that same year, December 10th. And he got caught by TJ Brown with a triangle. So, a bit tough. Funny thing as well, right? He made his debut a week after Marshall made his debut. So, they are on a similar, they've been on a similar road. And then after the TJ Brown loss, he fought Muhammad Nimov in February 2024. He suffered a leg injury and so lost that one. So, you know what I mean? It's been a bit tough, right? Also, there was that break in between the TJ Brown fight, right? December 2022. And then didn't fight until February 2024. So lost a year. And, you know what I mean? He's 38, right? So, that's a difficult one, right? You definitely start to slow down. Now, for the lighter weights, I think you can go a little bit longer, right? You're not taking as much damage, but... yeah, age injuries, they start catching up for sure. I think with this one, right, Silva, he's on the skid. Hasn't won yet in the UFC. So this could be it. A loss here could be the end. Could be the end. And it's like... you want to show the world, right? How good you are, right? Now, Silva, he's got submissions. He does like a rear naked, He's been getting those. He did win a title outside the promotion. That was a fight before the Contender Series. So we know he is skilled, but he just hasn't fallen that way for him. Now, I might say that Marshall has fought the higher quality competition. He comes from a... oh, shit. Sorry, people. He comes from a very good camp. yeah, I forget who he. I don't think it's Matt Brown. It might be fuck. I forget the vet who's always down with him. But yeah, I think people were gonna take Francis Marshall to walk away with a victory. So next time we have a catchweight. I believe this fight came together at real short notice. Right, it's the ladies doing their thing. Right, Regina Tarin against Ernesta or Kareckaitė, maybe. Right, so essentially a bantamweight, but as I say, a short notice situation. Now, Regina train. I also believe, I think she's a WWE trainee as well. But Regina Tarin, aka Kill Bill, she is 21, right? 5'7", 66-inch reach. She's got an overall record of 7-0. She's on a 7-fight win streak. You know what I mean? So, yeah, outside the promotion, she does like submission. She's got a couple of rear nakeds. But, right, she's got a good few stoppages as well. Right? So, yeah, she won a title via fourth round knockout. Right, back in September 2024. She was actually due to be on the Contender Series, but I think her opponent missed weight. I think it was something like that, you know. Didn't quite work out for her, but she won her next fight, first round knockout. So it looks like, you know what I mean? They had her, you know, they've been watching her. They were impressed. And instead of making a go the contender route, they're just like, you know what, kid? We're going to be in your backyard. Come on down. So she gets to step up, right? Might be short notice, but if she's down with the WWE, she might be also training at the UFC PI in Mexico. Although that did burn down, I'm not quite sure what the status of it is at the moment. But, right, if she has been at the PI, she's getting a lot in. She's 21, right? So you imagine she's just training, her metabolism is on point, right? So cutting weight, that's not going to be an issue for her, you know? Now, she is going up against heavy-handed Ernesta Kareckaitė, who's 27, 5'9", 71-inch reach. So, you know, she's 6 years older, right? She has got 2 inches in height, and she has got a 5-inch reach advantage. So heavy-handed has definitely got, you know what I mean, the tools, right? She has got the advantages on the stats, right? She came via the Contender Series. She is 1-1 in the promotion, right? Got that contract on the 26th of September 2023. Beat Charlie Giudice, right, by a split decision. But we all know how good Charlie Giudice is. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good win, right? So she made her debut May 2024, lost to Dion Barbosa via decision, and then got a split decision win January 2025 over Nicole Calieri, right? So outside the promotion, right, she's done boxing, she's done kickboxing. Yeah, she's got some knockouts right? I mean, the kickboxing background kind of makes you go, her kicks are decent, you know? But, yeah, I mean, not a ton of extra experience fight-wise. You know, they don't, when someone comes from a different discipline, they don't always list all of their fights, right? So she may have had a ton of kickboxing fights that we don't know about, right? But they both had a similar level of fights, you know what I mean? And they both have fought a lot on the regional scene in some of these smaller promotions. So you can never quite tell what the caliber of those oppositions are. Now, by throwing kicks, that does oftentimes leave you open to someone catching that kick and getting a takedown. And I would say, if Tarin gets that takedown, I think she might be coming home with a sub. You know what I mean? We're fighting in a backyard, right? It might be a short notice fight, but she's 21, right? She's full of spunk. Okay, probably I might have been able to find a better adjective right there. I would say she is full of gusto, right? She thinks she is unstoppable. She's Kill Bill, right? So she's saying she will murk every motherfucker, right? She doesn't give a fuck that this might be short notice. You know what I mean? She's down to vanquish the Europeans trying to step on Mexican soil. So, people, right? I think I'm going with the newcomer. I'm going with Regina Tarin to get that victory. Woo! Looking forward to that one. Right? So we are back with the featherweights. We have a Douglas Silva da Andrade against Javier Reyes. Okay, so Javier Blair Reyes, he is 32, 5'7", 73-inch reach. He has an overall record of 22-5. You know, he is on a 2-fight win streak. He's coming via the Contender Series. Right, he won that contract back on the 23rd of September 2025. Beat Justice Torres first round knockout. Right? He has fought, in the LFA a few times, right? Won a couple, lost a couple. When you look at his record, right, he's got some submissions, right? He's gone a distance a good few times, which is a good thing, people, right? Different types of submissions as well. And he's got knockouts, right? Like some ground and pound. So, you see that, that's a decent sign, right? Once motherfuckers on top, he's not looking just to lay there. So, yeah, interesting. He's going up against Douglas Silva de Andrade, okay? D Silva. He's 40, 5'7", 68.5-inch reach. So he's a senior Eltman up in there, right? He's 8 years D vet. He has got a 29-6 with 1 no contest overall, coming off a loss in his last fight, right? He's 7-6 in the UFC. So definitely the veteran. Lost to Miles Johns last time out, but that was June 2024. Right? He did beat Cody Stamen before that, but, lost to Sadid Nurmagomedov. Right? So you just think some of that extra level, you know, doesn't always win. He lost to Lerone Murphy back in January 2021. I mean, his biggest win is probably his... what would it have been? I mean, he made his debut in February 2014, right? He lost to Zabari Tukhairov. Came back, beat Cody Gibson, Henry Breneres, lost to Rob Font, right? Got a win over Marlon Vieira, you know, over Cheetah. Lost to Pierre Jan, right? But then he beat Renan Barrera. Now, obviously, Barrera, it was on the downside of his career at that point, right? The losses to Dillashaw and everyone else. But that's a big win, you know? But it does look like when, you know, he can get those wins, but when he steps up, that's when it falls apart a little bit, right? That's when things don't quite work out. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on his shoulders. That's when it gets difficult for a lot of people. And I think you're 40, right? So now things get a little bit tougher. You know? So I think, people, I am taking Blair Javier Reyes for the victory. So we drop down to the Bantamweights next. We have Cristian Quiñonez against Kris Moutinho. All right, so yeah, this is I think, well put together fight, right? So Kris Moutinho, he's 33, 5'7", 68-inch reach. He's got an overall 14-7. Coming off a loss, right? He's 0-3 in the UFC. So definitely, this is it, right? He is fighting for that contract, right? And, you know, say this is it. And I think the big thing is because, yes, he got to the UFC, right, on that short notice fight against Sean O'Malley. And he got battered, right? He got battered. It got fight of the night because he showed no quit. Right? I think he rocked O'Malley at one point, right? But it was a brief little thing because O'Malley did own the fight, but O'Malley should have. It was literally, I think, like a day's notice. It was something crazy. But he showed the heart to, like, that fight. It nearly went the distance, you know? So I think that was the big thing. So he then got another fight, but didn't go well. Got knocked out in the first. So then he goes back to the regionals. Right? Went back to the regionals. He did a little boxing, did a little grappling as well. Put together some wins. Right? Put together some wins. Then he got a call back up. Right? Because he strung 5 fights together. 5 fights together, right? Got some, you know, bulldog choke in the second, ground and pound in the second, first round guillotine, third round knockout, second round he forced the guy to retire, led him back to the big show. But, you know what I mean? Like fucking having to go up against Sean O'Malley in his debut, he has to go up against Malcolm Wellmaker. Right? So he gets knocked out in the first. I mean, it's not easy for poor old Kris, right? Not easy for poor old Kris. So he needs this one. He definitely needs this one, right? So we'll see what happens on Saturday night. But he's definitely got issues. Facing Problema, Cristian Quiñonez, right? He's 29, 5'8", 70-inch reach. Overall record of 18-5. Quiñonez, came via the Contender Series. He's 1-2 in the UFC. And he's on a 2-fight losing streak. So, in a similar situation, right? Got that contract on the 26th of October, 2021. Beat Zhao Long, right? Unanimous decision. Made his debut September 2022. Beat Khalid Taha, first round stoppage. But then he's lost the next two, right? Got choked out first round by Kang Kwai Ho. And then Rani Bahales caught him in the third, right? So that was February 2024. So it's been a minute since he has been in there. Now, I don't know if that was injury, suspension, what happened, but that's what it is. Now, as I said, he's lost by submission. Moutinho, how you say this again? Moutinho, he's not necessarily a submission artist, but he has got some subs, right? Now, it's ride or die for both, right? It's ride or die for both. We are fighting in Quiñonez's home yard, right? He's Mexican, so he's going to have all of that. I think I might go with Moutinho, right? Just because it's his second run. He knows he ain't going to get a third. You know what I mean? So I think he's going to get the win. So we then go to the ladies once more. We have the Bantamweights. Ailín Pérez against Macy Chiasson. This is the featured bout for the prelims, right? So Ailín Pérez, aka Fiona. I don't know if that's a Shrek reference. I have no clue. But Pérez, she's 31, 5'5", 66-inch reach. Overall record of 12-2. She's on a 5-win streak, right? 5-1 in the UFC. So she made that debut 3rd of September 2022. Got choked out by Stephanie Egger in the second round. Since then, though, right? Put it together. Beat Ashley Evans-Smith July 2023 via decision. November same year, got a decision over Lucy Poldova. Right? Then June the following year, decision over Jocelyn Edwards. And we've just seen Edwards just, come on a resurgence, right? Be looking very good. So that's a good win right there. She then got a win over Daria Zalonkova. I got her with an arm triangle. She did miss weight, right? She did miss weight for that. And last time out, in January last year, she beat Carol Rosa via decision. Rosa didn't, again, it was one of the issues. Rosa didn't really do much in that fight. But Perez, she's been looking sharp. Does like her to do a little twerky twerk after a victory, Outside, right, she's had submission. She's had some knockouts, right? She has won a couple of titles, right? Couple of regional belts. So, yeah, she's got skills. And I think Chiasson, This is, I think, the Rosa fight, right, and the Edwards fight, I think, are good setups for Macy Chiasson as a challenge, right? So, Macy, she's 34, 5'11", 72-inch reach. So, she is most definitely got the height, right? 6-inch height advantage and a 6-inch reach advantage. She is 10-5 overall. So roughly about the same amount of fights, right? Roughly the same amount of fights as each other. Chiasson's 3 years older, right? Macy is 8-5 in the UFC. She fought once and won in Invicta. She's an Ultimate Fighting Champion winner, right? But she is on a 2-fight losing skid right now. So we last saw her 4th of October 2025. She missed weight and lost to Yana Santos. I mean, she started to warm up in the last round, right? But just, it wasn't the best, right? It was a bit like the Ketlen Vieira loss, right? Earlier in the year in May, where Chiasson at times just doesn't seem to do a lot. Don't know what it is, but there is a lethargy that we see around her in the octagon, which is, it's an odd one, right? It is very odd. It's hard, because when she looks good, man, right? Her wins over Pani Kinzad and Mara Bueno Silva were both very good, right? So it's tough. But she's got a split win over Norma Dumont, right? Which is just like, yo, when we see how good Dumont has been, right? She beat Marion Renault. Renault's very good, right? So she's got good wins. You know what I mean? She's got good wins, but it can all go a little awry for her. It can all get a little bit messy. And that's the issue with this fight, right? I don't know if another loss gets her cut, because some of the female divisions aren't necessarily jam-packed, but it won't be good. You know what I mean? It won't be good, but with the slow starts, with the lethargy, I think I'm gonna have to take Pérez for the win, right? Because Pérez, she does come with energy, right? She does come with kicks. She does come with that hunger. Now, maybe that's the thing that will help kick Chiasson into gear earlier. I don't know. But I think, going on what both have done previous, I think Ailín Pérez is definitely the choice going into this one. So we're going to end things with the middleweights. We have Ryan Gandra against José Daniel Medina to close things out. So, Ryan Gandra, problema. I feel we've got another. There was also another problema I do believe that is, yes, Cristian Quiñonez is also problema. Come on, guys. Do better with the nicknames. Jeez. All right, but anyway, he's 30, 6'1", 74-inch reach, 8-1 overall record. He's on a 7-fight win streak. Okay, dokie. Coming via the Contender Series, won that contract on the 26th of August last year. Stopped Trent Miller, first round knockout. All right. He's fought a few times in the LFA. Made his pro debut February 2022. Went to a decision and won a belt. Which, that's an interesting debut, right? Lost the next time out, right? First round stoppage, but bounced back. Got his own first round stoppage, right? He's arm triangle, got a couple of those, right? But does like the hands, as a lot of people do. You know what I mean? So there is that. Now, again, so he's making his debut Saturday night. José Medina, Chiasson. I don't know. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that. But anyway, he's 34, 6 foot, 74.5 reach, 11-6 overall. Right? He is 3-0 in the UFC. He's on a 4-fight skid. Right? Came via the Contender Series, but didn't quite work out. Right? Which is interesting. So he lost the Contender Series, but it was, a great fight. So he got a contract. It was one of those ones. It says a lot, right? To get a contract off a loss says a lot. But, yeah, hasn't won. Now, he did make his debut against Zachary Reese, right? Lost a decision. Then he got knocked out by Atiba Gautier, which, I mean, that's fair, right? And then Dusko Tudovic choked him out in September last year. So it's been a bit of a tough one for him, So he definitely needs this win. Definitely needs this one. All right, so, I mean, he's got some, some subs, right? Americano, rear naked, arm triangle. But he does, everyone likes standing up. He's got some knockouts, right? He's gone the distance a few times. But with that weight on your shoulders, you know what I mean? That's a tough one, right? That's a tough one. All of that pressure, knowing you need this victory, right? It's hard. It's a hard one. And I think it might be a bit too much. So I think Problema Ryan Gandra walks away with the victory. A lot of fun prelims, people. Let's see if they all, everything goes to plan. It doesn't always, but should be fun. And that will take us to our main card.